Okay, I'm at 1115 West Pike Street in Covington, Kentucky, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a building. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. The access point is this clean out here in this PVC stack. It looks like there was an old cast iron stack there, and it's been abandoned, and so it's going in through this PVC and going over further forward, and then I'm assuming going down there. You can see that we are back in this corner. There is the HVAC unit, meters. So back here behind the plenum for the AC or the HVAC, the air handler is where the clean out is. So we're going to try to go out as far as we can here. Expect this to originally go into, the original pipe, which should be clay based off the age of the house. And I don't know how much of this has been replaced yet. There's some suds. So I'll have to. Almost looks like I went backwards here, and that this is maybe coming in somewhere, but I can't really see what's going on because all the suds here would hit something eventually here. Well, I don't see any stationary tub or anything like that where I could run some water. I was hoping this would sometimes it'll just kind of work its way off there, but I don't know what's going on here. I don't want to have to pull it all the way back because I'm moving pretty good here. Well, I may have to just pull it all the way back and wipe the camera head off and then hope I don't go back through the suds. Assuming it was caused by, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to pause the video for a second and see which way it ran. Because it sounds like it went backwards and then hit the laundry and then comes back around and goes down through the floor. And so there's a floor clean out that I may be able to access that would make this a lot easier instead of going through all these extra turns. So I'm going to pause the video for a second, and I'm going to locate exactly where the camera head is so I know which direction the line is running. Okay, it is actually going forward. So we will have to pull back and try to clean this off, I guess, because this doesn't want to. You just see the colors in the suds, and for some reason it doesn't want to come off in front of the camera. Of course it will as soon as I get all the way back. attempt here, and hopefully the suds don't cause an issue this time. Of course it will. Smudging it up again. So what I end up having to do same spot. It's getting a bunch of, there we go, all these suds just getting on the front of the camera. I mean, it's a good thing it's clean water. So what we should be able to do though is go out and hopefully now we can see better, but hopefully we'll be able to get out to the main and the camera will stay clean, or I'll be able to rinse it off and then go from there. But so far, this is all PVC, which is good. Okay, looks like we're dropping off. You can see the angle of the camera there on the bottom left-hand corner tells you the angle at which the camera's hanging. And so it looks like we're dropping, and then we're going to straighten back out. And hopefully with all these turns, I can continue and get out as far as I need to. So it looks like now we've switched over into the original clay line. No, I'll take that back. This is still PVC, just an older PVC actually. Okay. Now this is clay. So, hopefully it can still go, and then it goes right back into PVC, which is SDR probably 35 for exterior piping. This is a PVC, it's just a different type. And so it is good. Looks like here's a tie in there from the right hand side. And usually this green stuff is used outside. There we are. And then looks like we're going right back into clay. We're going to see if we can make this jump here. This may be difficult to make because it's a pretty minor offset, but since I'm out 68 feet and I don't have a whole lot of momentum behind the camera, but based off the footage I may be out in the street already. We're going to see if we can get this thing to jump here. Got it. Okay, now we just need to see if we can get the rest of the way. Since we should be close to the main, we'll get a lot better look at all this on the way back. So I think we just made it to the main. There we go. Great. So drop that down in there, let the water rinse it off a little bit. We'll get a better look at all this when we pull back here. So most of it is PVC, which is great. You can see there's a little bit of cracking going on right there at the tap. If that ever does fail or cause an issue, that will be the responsibility of the sewer department. So in this case it is SD1 in northern Kentucky. And so if that ever did fail, because you can see there's just a little bit of cracking, it's nothing major, it hasn't changed the shape of the pipe or caused any kind of offset or anything, there's just a couple of pieces cracked. But that would be the responsibility of the sewer department. So there's that little bit of clay right there at the tap, and then we have this repair mate, which was most likely done by the sewer department. Just a short piece of SDR 35, and we go back into clay for a short distance. And a little bit of build up right there. And I'm not sure if that is just mineral deposits or grease. There may have been some old root intrusion or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell what that is. It looks like, whatever it is, it looks like grease is coating it, and it is 68 feet, so it may be out in the street. But what I'm going to do, just to make sure, is I'll put my camera right here, because it does look like we're getting a little bit of buildup, and I'm going to go, I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to locate exactly where this is to verify that it is off the property. Okay, so this is in the street. It is a couple feet off the curb into the blacktop. So I can't 100% identify what this stuff is there. It may be some old roots. Maybe there used to be a tree out there or something, and it just has some grease that attached to it. I don't see any structural issues in that area. It just looks like, because that's an old piece of clay. But yeah, and it's just that real small little section where they left the clay out in the street. But that is out in the street, so if that does become an issue for some reason, that would be on SD1 to repair that. They're getting a lot better about taking responsibility for the stuff in the street. And then we go back into PVC, and we can see where the repair was made. That's where that little offset is, where it's settled a little bit. And the way they make those repairs, change them between materials, they usually use a rubber, they call it a Fernco, but it's like a rubber hub that just wraps around the boat, and they tighten down with hose clamps. And so a lot of times after they backfill, it'll drop a little bit because that rubber is still flexible. But I don't see any solids or anything catching in that spot. It's overtaken that offset really well. I think from here on back, PVC the whole way. Oh, I forgot, there's this like one small, like 3-foot section of clay left right here on the property. This will probably be up right before it gets into right before it comes back into the building here. Yeah, and we're back into PVC, and that joint looked really good, nice and solid, and there's no offset at all. Right there, and then another like 1-foot section of clay, and then back to PVC. So they must have been done at different times, because if they would have known there was PVC that close, they probably wouldn't have left that 2-foot piece of clay in there. It doesn't look bad or anything, but it seems strange they would just leave a couple feet. This is all newer PVC, and it's all looks really good. It should be this way all the way back until we exit. So I will mark on the report where that little offset is, and just to know that it is off the property. But it's not causing the problem at the time of inspection, so it's a pretty normal occurrence, like I mentioned earlier, when they do repairs like that between two materials. We are out of the clean out, and so that all looked really good. Except one little small section out there, I believe that was at like 62 feet or something, where that does have like an offset and a little buildup of material that looks to be just an old, maybe an old amount of roots that have been sitting there like that for years and just kind of catch some overspray from the water coming through. But the rest of the line looked great structurally, and didn't find any kind of major issues, nothing obstructing flow. It seems to be flowing free and clear right now, and nothing to really worry about. But we're going to also, there's a lower line that comes off of the laundry back here, so I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to move over and open up this other clean out in the floor, and we're going to see where that runs, if that comes over. I'm assuming it would come over and tie into this, but we're just going to kind of get a look at it since it is carrying the washer here in the basement. Okay, we've moved over. I pulled the plug on this floor clean out, and I'll show you around to show you exactly where this clean out is. But let's see, here is looks like probably an old floor drain. They used to not, this probably originally had a whole house trap, and so they wouldn't put traps on these. Seems like there's an awful lot of mud and stuff in there, but you can see that looks like it comes over. You can see the line coming out of the back of the washer, going down into the floor right there behind the caulking, and then it looks like it would be cut and come around right to here. So we're hoping we can get through this. Just to build up of mud here. So we're hoping we can get through this clay and see how far out we go. Since this is carrying the laundry, we want to go ahead and take a look at all this. Looks like there's a bunch of junk in this line. Oh yeah, looks like an old clean out plug or something. This is about as far as we're going to get. I don't know, maybe we can run the washer and verify that the line comes through here before I, make this an issue. But I'm going to pause the video. We're going to locate this because it looks like this has been dug up before. There's some concrete patches that follow it over to this floor drain, or this could be going the other direction. And that way, if it is, and it's coming over, and it ties into the old one, we'll have to kind of figure out what direction the line is flowing. So I'm going to pause the video here and find out where we are and try to get an idea of how this is configured. Alright, we're going to pull back a little bit, and we're going to run the laundry and see if the washer exits through here or if it goes out another route.
Okay, so we did verify that this is coming off the washer down here in the basement, and so I'm going to recommend this be cleaned. Now I still haven't been able to identify what that big ball is, and that could have been the beginning of stopping all this, but I'm going to recommend that this be cleaned and just re-inspected to verify that behind all this mud we don't have structural issues. But other than that, the main line looks great. Only found one little tiny offset, and that was off the property, so that would be the responsibility of SD1 to repair that. And we just have this line that needs to be cleaned, and I'll reference that as kind of a separate thing. It is 18 feet out, but it's from the separate. It's the second section of the video from the other entry point. So that'll end the inspection at 1115 West Pike Street in Covington, Kentucky.